Hi then, welcome back to my video. Is this the third or fourth episode we're on to now? I think it's the fourth episode. Yeah, I forget what half the stuff I've done, don't I? So hopefully the Mini's going to start in a minute. So I've had the battery on charge for a while now, so fingers crossed that's looking a bit better and it'll fire into life. So that's where we're going to start. Let's see if it'll run, get it running, and then I'll go over all the front end and make sure everything's torqued up properly. And then that'll be about it done on the front end really. I'll move on to the back end then and have a go at getting this roll bar kitted and what have you. So let's see how this goes. The answer to that is not very well. It's always started really well. I can't say about a problem starting it and everything seems to be quiet, so I don't know what we're missing.
So here I just quickly whipped the plugs out, try and have a look, see if we've got a spark, which we didn't have, and then all of a sudden we did have a spark. So I had a bit of a cough here and got the plugs back in it, and I was pretty confident we were going to get it to go then.
It runs, yay! I think it's just fouled the plugs up, to be fair. It's been sat for a while, so the plugs were a little bit wet when I just had a little look at the plugs, so I just think it just needed a little bit of turning over and maybe just get the fuel through the carb and whatnot. I mean, you shouldn't really leave them sat with the fuel in them and what have you, but you know, hindsight's a great thing, isn't it, when you think about these things. So yeah, so she's running. I'll leave it cool down now. I can just set the fluid levels and what have you once that's cool, and just have a little scan over everything. I'm going to have a talk up at the front end now, make sure everything's tight, and then I can have a go on the back end. So at least it runs. I'll start to think, what could it be? I mean, there ain't a fat lot on them. It's so simple, it's just untrue. It's pretty unusual for them to not to start, but they do take a bit of cranking now. I think that is a big thing on them as well. The battery voltages have got to be real strong where possible, so hopefully it'll condition the battery up okay now. And it was new last year, the battery was, so I'd like to think so. But anyway, running.
I've been thinking about myself today, thinking how I changed, how I really don't care if you are here or if you don't stay. Now I'm feeling those winter blues.
Okay, so I'm going to set about getting this anti-roll bar off the back of it now, which it's very simple to get off. So it just seems very big. So I'm going to put one in the boot. That'll be a little easier to adjust hopefully and work a little bit better. So we'll see. But I've got to get all the tank drained now. So, well, get the tank out, put the other tank in, get the mounts in for the roll bar. So we'll have a go at starting that.
But I don't wanna cry, 'cause all we ever do is laugh it off. And I'm sick and I don't know why. Do you remember that night we met? I thought you looked so fun.
So you can sort of see this is the look we're going for in the old roll bar. So we've got to get some holes cut in the boot here where it goes in there. Obviously got this smaller tank arrangement.
to get them cut out underneath. Get the tank out.
Guess we have to agree to disagree for this one last time. Pretty weird that day when we did not
So these little minis, they've got like little carbon, well these Miglias anyway, got these little carbon fibre boot floors which are handy. So I need to give it a bit of a clean under there. Yeah, might have to move where that petrol pump's mounted, because the roll bar's obviously the bar's gonna go in here to mount it. So I reckon that'll be in the way there. Shouldn't be the end of the world to move that there, should it? So I'll set about having a mark up to see whereabouts to cut now. Don't want to cock that up, do I?
change our hellos. I wasn't looking out for you, I'm sorry, I'm so shallow. But I'm still looking forward to watching part 2 of Deathly Hallows with you.
So just gonna have to it's just a teeny bit too long. So just gonna have to take a little bit out of either end. I don't know, just on the notcher like. I'll go and have a look. Yeah, so this looks like it's gonna be quite handy. I mean, I ain't really used it a great deal yet. I bought a notcher and a tube bender off a college that bought it and never used it, and it weren't bad money really, because it's nice stuff. Yeah, just need to learn how to use it properly now really, but I've got the general gist of it quite quick. Looks like it's going to be ideal for this. Pretty handy that. Quickly going to give it a quick whirl. It's close. Just to take a bit out the other side, I reckon. Bingo. Yeah, so it's gone in there nicely now, isn't it? So that's got to be welded in there. Disconnected the battery. Don't want to be pot blowing now, do we, welding? Right, so I think that's going to be about it for today. Got a good idea where we're going with that tomorrow, so hopefully I'll get that finished. Obviously got to just clean up the little area where I'm going to weld to, and then I'm going to take the rear shocks out because I don't want to get melt in the tops of the shock, rubbers and what have you. So I'll drop those out, and then yeah, hopefully that should be in motion. So I'll crack on again tomorrow because I've got to get on with some other bits and pieces now. So that's all for the Mini for today. All right then, keep watching. Thanks. Okay, so yeah, cleaned a bit of paint off inside there and get some tacks in and get that brace in, and then I'll probably have to, I think, cut some plates out just to give it a little bit of additional support. I'm going to struggle to get behind it and to weld it very much, so we'll see. There we go. Coming on.
Much at all here in this small town, 'cause in the end we're all buried deep inside the same hole in the ground.
Yeah, that ain't particularly easy, is it? In the back of a mini boot, welding that in. Yeah, I'll have a look. So, got a decent fixing on the front of it, but I can get underneath here, but getting around the back of it down there is, yeah, nigh on impossible. So I think we'll try and put a bit of a strengthener in it, just to give it a bit of a fighting chance. It feels nice and solid. I can't imagine it going anywhere. There ain't loads of leverages. They're on the roll bar point. Give you a little look at that then. So it's yeah, she's welded in. I think that's made a bit of a gusset up out of some plate here. Yeah, just welded it in the bottom, because obviously I'm struggling to get to the back of where it welds in, so, but I don't reckon that's going anywhere. So that's that bit sorted. Pretty happy with that. Yeah man, I'm happy with that. Yeah, and off there said to whip the boot floor out and you'll be able to get a bit of a better access to it, which I didn't really think about. I thought, oh, might be able to cut an hole in the back of the bulkhead if I wanted to weld around the back, but I thought, yeah, I might as well whip the boot floor out of it and have a little weld up on the back of it just to make sure, but I think it's pretty bomb-proof like that anyway, isn't it? Yeah. Right then, I think it's time for some lunch, but yeah, it's coming on. I've actually used a brush to paint the epoxy primer on. We put some hardener in it, so it was going off quite rapid as well. Just speeds it up a little bit. I mean, it ain't got to be perfect in the boot here because you don't really see it. And I do plan on painting the car one day, but obviously with the giant task I've got with this Escort, that sort of put everything else on the back burner until I've got that sorted. But yeah, I think that's coming on alright anyway. Just working out where to cut into this boot floor for the drop link to come up, which is now a 5-minute task neither. Just debating that. So I think I've got it about right now. Drilled a couple of little pilot holes just to indicate where the where to cut to. So I'll get the angle grinder on it after lunch, and we'll get some holes in the back of it. Hopefully that primer should have gone off. I don't know whether to spray the bit in the boot or just paint the grey on with a brush. I'll probably just paint it on with a brush for now because I need to get it sorted out. Just saves having to mask everything up. Alright, Sam, I'll get back to it in a minute. Well, that ain't for the faint-hearted, is it? Chopping bits out the back of the chassis. Looks alright. Yeah, so got a couple of holes now, either side, ready for the roll bar to poke through. Tell you what, that's some paint, that is. I'm really impressed with that. I had it mixed to the colour of the car and it's gone on really nice. So I think that's about it for today, but looks pretty decent to be fair. On the back of there, that's come out alright. Can't even tell, well you can tell I brush painted it, but it ain't obvious like. I would imagine once it's dried tomorrow it'll look sound that will. It's just easier and quicker than having to mask everything off to blast paint everywhere. I mean at some point the car will end up getting paint, I would have thought, so yeah, we're good. I've used a bit of a clear. I wanted to keep the steel finish of the roll bar, so I've just give it a bit of a clear coat. This shit. I've used it on a couple of things now and it's been pretty decent. So there we go. Steady away, but we're making progress, which is the main thing, isn't it? Got quite a bit done now, haven't I? Engine's back in here. She's running again. Got all the front end built up. I've got roll bar kit fitted. I'm happy at that. So wait for that to dry on that tomorrow, and then I'll be able to. What have I got to do now? I've got to mount the tank because it's a new tank, and remount the fuel pump and whatnot, and then have a look at the rear bearings on it. Then. Yeah, then it's not a million miles off. Look at the alignment, get the scales out, give it a bit of a weigh, see where we're at with all that. And then, yeah, back in the right ballpark then, I'd say. So, thanks for watching so far, and I'll get back at it probably tomorrow. See you in a bit. Okay, so have a little look, see how this has gone off. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, brush painted, didn't it? But plenty of paint on it, which is the main thing, and it's, yeah, thereabouts the right colour. So once all the boots built back up and the tank's in there and that, you don't see it off of it anyway. Just speeds things up, doesn't it? Oh, it just saves masking everything up and painting it properly. I mean, it goes on nice, doesn't it? With a brush, you get it on nice and thick, so it's not done properly, is it? It's just, obviously you get a far better finish if you spray it, don't you? But I haven't got all day, have I? Trying to get things sorted out so I get back onto the never-ending story of the Escort. So, oh, still a bit tacky. Yeah. That's it then, sound. Right, I'll endeavour to try and get some more of it built up in the boot here, and yeah, see how we get on. These are pretty cool, these minis, the way that the back ends are done. Obviously just a nice carbon floor in there, but it's held in with nuts and bolts, and the nuts and bolts, bit of a pain in the ass really, so I'm going to have a go at putting some of them sort of, them not nut rivet inserts in the boot floor. It's just a little bit of time now, just speeds up ever taking it out in the future, doesn't it? Okay, it's coming on. Got it in there now, so it's, there's a little bit of care's got to be taken. When you if you fit one of these, I don't know, you probably get end off slot to do it, but if you did one yourself, about to shim the bar just between the two rose joints there, because obviously there was a bit of a gap, and if you tighten the bolt up, you're going to pull the rose joint at a funny angle and lock the bar up. So yeah, I got that all right, to be fair. Looks pretty good. Set about getting the tank in now, and yeah, I'm going to have a fancy roll bar kit in the back of it, which is sound. I did get the Owens tank with the roll bar, but I don't know, I think I'll probably be able to retain the original tank that were in it by the looks of things. I can probably use the Owens one on well, hopefully when I build my historic Mini, if I ever get over the Escort. But yeah, that probably could go into that. I think that'll go into that, because I think this will probably work like this. So decisions. Decisions. I suppose it'll arm, would it? Reusing that there. I think the Owens one obviously wants a bit more of the carbon floor cutting out, so there'll be a little bit more work involved in fitting that. It's a bit of a different configuration on the pipe work, so it'd probably be easier to retain the tank that was in this, I think. I didn't think it'd go underneath the brace at the back, but it does. That's it then. Remount that, innit? Just made a couple of brackets for the tank. It's going to make it a lot easier to get it in and out because the bolts have been inside it. So yeah, some brackets on the side of it there. Beside that one. Okay, so I think that's about done. So we've got roll bar kit in the boot. It's all mounted up, all put back up, all fastened up. I mean, they're a little compromise. I think these roll bar kits are on the back. The space, etc., is limited. Obviously, got the drop link at a fair angle there, just to join down onto the back of the wheel hub on the back there, but it'll make adjusting it far easier anyway, so that's something. I've got to set the car up. Well, I'm going to do the bearings on the back of it next, and then I've had some fancy new hub stand alignment kit I'm going to have a bash with, so I don't know how it works, but soon find out, won't I? So yeah, bearings next, but I think that's about a bit of a wrap for today. But yeah, pleased with that. The tank's all in and that. It's I mean, the bolts look nicer when they're hidden in the bottom of the tank, don't they, rather than them brackets on the tank. But yeah, it's probably more secure and more functional now, because if I need to get the tank in and out of it, it's not going to be such a ball out to get the tank in and out, because it was a bit of a maul to get the tank out, in all fairness, whereas that'll fly out now. So that's good, I think. Yeah, pleased with it. Coming on. Not a lot left to do now, and I can probably start looking at booking a track day somewhere and again giving it a whiz round and checking she's all right. But yeah, there we go. That's an Owens Owens Fabrication rear anti-roll bar kit fitted. They're chuffed.